What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Cam ATL, and welcome back to another MLB High Five video with your boy. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Drop a like down below, comment anything in the comment section, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for joining me as always, man. You guys know how I like to do it. I like to get in and out. All right, let's get straight to it. As you guys know, with all packages at greenlightdfs.com, you get access to not only the Greenlight Optimizer, you get access to the player prop tools that are new on the site that'll help you pick your player props, all types of good stuff. All right, you get the PrizePicks plays, you get the DFS plays, you get all that good stuff with any daily membership, weekly membership, season long membership, blah 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 at greenlightdfs.com. All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to give y'all a little PrizePicks set to go ahead and run up. If you have an account on PrizePicks, use code GREENLIGHT to get a 100% match up to $100 of your money. Free $100 on your boy if you deposit $100 on PrizePicks using code GREENLIGHT. And if you already have an account, cool. I got a little set of PrizePicks for you. All right, one that I really like today is going to be under on the zero point 0.5 first inning score. Okay, so I'm expecting San Francisco and Cleveland to both put up a donut, a zero in the first inning. So go under the zero point 0.5 on the first inning score for the San Francisco Cleveland game. Reason being, Carlos Rodon is just fantastic. He's a fantastic pitcher. Cleveland has only scored a run in the first inning twice this season. San Francisco's only done it once. So both these teams have not been doing it often so far this year. Teams in general really don't put up runs in the first inning, on top of the fact that they already haven't been doing it this season, and then we've got decent pitchers on tap for this one with Carlos Rodon being an amazing pitcher, and then Zach Plesac being a solid pitcher as well. He's okay pitcher, and he looked really good in his first start. Plesac looked really good in his first start, only allowing 3 hits in 5 innings pitched. So it was a fantastic spot for Plesac. Really love that spot for him, and I think it's a very solid spot to keep that under zero point 0.5. So no runs first inning, PrizePicks. That's the first play. Second play, Salvador Perez over 6.5 fantasy score. Reason being, Salvador Perez mashes lefties. We already know that. I mean, Salvador Perez, his numbers versus lefties are ridiculous. The dude has a 349 ISO and a 407 WOBA versus lefties. On top of that, against Skubal, he has a 385 average, a 769 ISO, and a 615 WOBA. Expect Salvador Perez to have a huge game here against Skubal and easily surpass the 6.5 fantasy score. All right, and that's another thing. When it comes to the fantasy scores on PrizePicks, one of my favorite ways to do that is to look at the projections on the Greenlight Optimizer and kind of compare where there's super value. Like, let's say on PrizePicks, a guy's at 6.5 fantasy score, and on the Greenlight Optimizer, he's projected 10 and a half, 11. That's a really big discrepancy there. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Now, that's the way that I like to attack that, especially if the matchup is there. And if the Greenlight Optimizer is on a guy, then the matchup is there. All right, so when it comes to the fantasy score, using the Greenlight Optimizer is a great way to do that. Using the player prop tools, obviously, is going to be the best way to do the total bases and the hits and stuff like that, and the strikeouts for the pitchers. All right, now that we got that first set done, let's go ahead and get straight into the high five. So, starting off, Carlos Rodon, I talked about him. Carlos Rodon is just the highest strikeout pitcher on this slate, and it's not very close, okay? Really love Carlos Rodon here. The wind is blowing in today at almost 10 miles per hour. Rodon has a over 31% K rate versus lefties, over 33% K rate versus righties. Cleveland has been fantastic this year. This Cleveland offense has put up a ton of runs on multiple occasions. But okay? The only person I'm really worried about here in this matchup is Jose Ramirez. Outside of that, I'm not worried about too many of these guys. Okay, so Carlos Rodon is in a fantastic spot here. So yeah, run him up with the wind blowing in. Carlos Rodon at 9.8 is a guy that I'm definitely getting exposure to. Now, yes, we have a game in course. Honestly, I stack up the course when the matchup really entails that I should. I don't just do it because it's a hitter environment. I do it if the situation is great. Like last night, there was a couple not so good pitchers in there with Freeland and Steele. So the score should have gone crazy, right? So I got my exposure to them. Now, in today's matchup, you've got an okay pitcher here, okay? You've got in this game today, you've got Marquez. Marquez is a solid pitcher. The wind is blowing in Coors today. Almost at 10 miles per hour. Marquez is a solid pitcher in general. He got 21 against the Dodgers offense in this last game. I mean, he struck out 5, only allowed, 3 hits against the Dodgers. So expect him to do very well against the Cubs here in this one as well. And then on the Cubs side of things, they're going to be running out Marcus Stroman, who is a guy who's been an okay pitcher for his entire career. He can get blown up and can get beat by the giving up too much power, but honestly, he's been pretty damn solid when it comes to that power issue. He's only been giving up 126, 1.2. Sorry, a .126 ISO to lefties, a .126 ISO to righties. So he's not giving up a ton recently, and he's just the wind's blowing in. Colorado's not an incredibly scary offense outside of the couple guys like Cron and Bryant, obviously. Blackman's solid too. So they're okay. But this situation seems pretty solid to me. These are solid pitchers in this game, both priced up pretty solid. So I think this game is not a game you have to full stack on. So I'm not too worried about that. So I'm getting the pitcher I want in Carlos Rodon. Next pitcher that I like, we don't have a ton of information on Mackenzie Gore, but the information I was able to scrape up is that he's got a solid K rate. He's got a decent K rate. Now, he's going against an Atlanta team that doesn't strike out a ton, but if this guy can get us 4 to 5 strikeouts, he'll hit value at his price tag at only 5K. I have him projected right almost around 5 strikeouts today against Atlanta. So I have him pitching about mid 70s in pitches. The information that I did find on him, he's a decent K rate guy. Like I said, he's decent, and he's a guy that these guys aren't going to know anything about. You know what I mean? So he can come in there and really, sometimes these guys coming up and making their first starts like this, there's not much information on them, so they're able to kind of get through some good solid innings, wiping guys down before they kind of get a hang of what they've got on them. You know what I mean? All right, so Mackenzie Gore at only 5K, he opens things up. He's got, like I said, if he can get me 4 to 5 strikeouts, I'm going to be good. As long as he doesn't get absolutely blown up, I'm good. And I feel pretty good about this situation here for him. So this game is at home in San Diego. It's just a solid, decent spot here for Mackenzie Gore at only 5K, and he does allow you to, get some power bats. Not necessarily in cores necessarily, but he does allow you to get some good, solid bats. So Mackenzie Gore at 5K, I have him projected at 14. I think he's a solid option today. I think he's going to be a good call. All right, now let's get into the hitters, y'all. All right, so there's many ways you can go today. First person I'm going to talk about here is at first base. I'm going to go Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's in just a fantastic spot here going against Gutierrez. I mean, Freddie Freeman, we already know mashes righties. He's a fantastic hitter, plain and simple. He's got a 265 ISO, 431 WOBA versus righties. Gutierrez gives up a 251 ISO to left-handed bats. Freeman also in the small sample size has done well versus Gutierrez. So everything pretty much adds up to Freddie Freeman having a solid game. I think Freddie Freeman's going to get a dinger here in this one. I absolutely love him. He is a fantastic option in my opinion. I really like the Dodgers offense a lot. The Dodgers stack is really interesting to me outside of cores. I really like the Dodgers today. I think Freddie Freeman, and then this next guy that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get a couple of these guys in here. Max Muncy, I don't have. I need to edit his. I started editing his projection and didn't finish it up. But Max Muncy is also a guy that I'm very interested in today. He's a guy that obviously has a ton of power. He's left-handed power against Gutierrez, who gives up a ton of power to left-handed bats. This is just a fantastic spot here. I really like this spot. This is a spot that I'm definitely going to take advantage of for this Dodgers offense. I mean, you got so many lefty power guys in this Dodger lineup that are, Bellinger has been incredibly cheap, and he's a solid value play today, by the way. But Max Muncy and Freddie Freeman are the guys who really prioritize for me in this situation. These are the two guys that I'm really wanting to prioritize, given the fact that Gutierrez gives a ton of power up to lefties, and Freddie Freeman and Muncy fit that mold perfectly. And as a value, I love Cody Bellinger. But let's talk about one more big guy. There is some decent value with Bobby Witt Jr. once again at 2.4. You got Cody Bellinger at 2.8. Those guys are solid. So you're going to be able to get some studs here. I'm going to go Aaron Judge. I think a double dong potential day is on tap here for Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is in a fantastic spot today, and he is a guy that I'm definitely going to want to try to get some exposure to. The wind is blowing out in Baltimore. Now, Baltimore is a hitter-friendly ballpark already. Okay, you take the wind out of play. Baltimore is already a hitter-friendly ballpark. Okay, then you take the wind and you blow it out to left field at over 12 miles per hour. Righty power is in a fantastic spot here against Lyles. Lyles gives up hard contact to righties. Judge has a 240 ISO to right-handed pitching. Wind is blowing out to left at 12 miles per hour. I think this is a possible double dong potential for Aaron Judge. I think he could possibly have a slate breaker type of game. I do also think he gets a home run. So these three guys are also home run prediction guys for me. I think Freddie Freeman, Muncy, and Aaron Judge all get one. I think for value, Cody Bellinger's a good home run prediction guy. But at the end of the day, Aaron Judge in this spot with the wind blowing out in a hitter-friendly ballpark in Baltimore against a bad pitcher in Lyles, it's a great spot for Aaron Judge, and I really wanted to get exposure to him. All right, so high five on DraftKings, Carlos Rodon. Yes, he's facing Cleveland, but this is a high strikeout guy, and strikeouts are king in DFS. Okay, strikeouts are king. Mackenzie Gore. Speaking of strikeouts are king, especially for a guy at only 5K, for a guy that the information is pointing towards him having a solid K rate, going against an Atlanta squad that won't have a ton of, haven't seen him in real at-bats. Now, obviously, this team knows about Mackenzie Gore. They probably know more about Gore than I do, obviously. All right, they've got guys who are there to know this stuff. But these guys haven't had like real life at bats against the guy. So expect Gore to have a solid outing here. I'm expecting mid 70 pitches, like I said, and at only 5K, he can allow you to get some studs like a Freddie Freeman, Muncy, and Judge. Freddie Freeman, lefty power against Gutierrez is the way to go today. All right, so Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Cody Bellinger, those lefty power guys on this Dodger lineup you're going to want exposure to. Aaron Judge, I think, has that double dong upside today. Facing a bad pitcher in Lyles who gives up power to righties, wind blowing out to left at over 12 miles per hour. This is a spot for Aaron Judge to have a blow-up game. And I really love Judge today at 5-4. Like I said, Baltimore's already a hitter-friendly ballpark. You just take the wind out of play. It's already a hitter-friendly ballpark. Then you add the wind blowing out to left. Righty power, righty power guys normally pull the ball to left field. Lefty power guys usually will pull the ball to right field. Now, obviously, these guys can hit opposite field home runs, but majority of the time, they're going to pull the ball. Okay, so lefty power, wind blowing out to right is a huge bump. Righty power, wind blowing out to left is a huge bump. Same situation here for Aaron Judge. Wind blowing out to left should be a huge game. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. As always, let's get this money. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. Thank you guys for joining me. Drop a like down below. Comment anything in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let's get it. I'm out. Peace.